Hey guys, in this video I want to go over bringing in your sketches into Photoshop. To get started, what I did was I took a picture of a sketch that I drew of a really rough wireframe, and then I emailed it to myself and it's on my computer now. So I'm going to set up a new document, and I want to set this up for web. If I were doing like a mobile layout or something like that, I would have that option, but this is my desktop right now, and I'll visit this again here when I have to. So I'm going to go back to web, and I'm going to keep it at large, but what I usually do is plug 300 in here, because when I save this out for the web, when I export artboards or when I generate assets, it knocks it down to 72. So I'm going to say okay. And now I'm going to bring in my photograph. File, place embedded. Okay. I am going to hold shift when I rotate it, so it snaps it to a 90. If I hold option as I scale it, it will scale out from the center. And actually command T, I'm going to pull that in a little bit. So what I want to do is make sure both of these stay on the artboard. So now I can take the marquee tool, draw a box, copy, paste. I could take this one, marquee tool, copy, paste. And now I have both of those images on this artboard. I'm going to hide the mobile one for now and just focus on this. So I'm going to zoom out, and what I would like to do is sort of fill up this top portion as best I can on this page, because this is going to be sort of above the fold, and I want to make sure that my picture and everything is visible and there's not a lot of distraction. So I'm going to say Command T. You can also do Edit Transform if you want to, if you have a layer that's selected. Edit, Transform, Scale. Free Transform is Command T. If you're on a PC, please replace Command with the Control commands. So I'm just going to hold Option, scale it up, move it down, and I sort of, like I said, I want to kind of line it up, and it doesn't have to be exact. When I drew this, it was far from exact, as you can see from my drawing, sorry. And then I hit return, and now I'm going to say Edit, Transform, Distort. Distort is one of my favorite transformation tools because it allows you to go in there and sort of bend perspective a little bit. Command minus, so I can see the bottom. I could even pull this down if I wanted, but I'm not that fussed. I'm just going to fill that space up when I feel like it. So it doesn't matter that this is a little bit pixelated. It's okay, it's just a template. So now what I would like to do is increase the size of my artboard. That's really easy to do. Just as an FYI, your artboard tool should be living underneath your move tool. If you don't see it there, please go to the three dots, Edit Toolbar, and then you will put it over onto the left side. You can also remove things from your dock by doing that, but I want to keep it there, so I usually dock keyboard shortcuts to keyboard shortcuts. I can also extend the height of my artboard. So I'm going to zoom out, Command minus, Control minus on a PC, and I'm just going to scale that down so I can sort of see the bottom of my document. So that's sort of the idea of my website, my home page of my website. Now what I would like to do is go back to the Move tool, and I want to start just making some shapes. When I use the Shape tool in Photoshop, I always, or 99% of the time, have it set to shape. I can change the fill color. Maybe I'll make it a nice black or gray or something like that. I'll leave it at black. And I'm going to just make a rectangle. Okay. And then if I wanted to, I could just take the Move tool and hold the Option Alt key and drag. Notice my cursor had two arrows. That means it duplicates. If I hold Shift, I can distort the proportions, and I can put this right about there. Beautiful. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll just go back here, Option drag this, and maybe I should change the color of that, huh? To change it a shape, you just click on that little square, little rectangle shape here, and it allows you to change the color. I'm going to hide that for visibility for a second, and then I'm just going to take this guy, Option drag it again, Command T, hold Shift, And maybe this is going to be like the About Us or something, or like a little testimonial section or something. And then Option drag again. And I would recommend using your smart guides. I want to mention guides in Photoshop, if I may, for a second. Now I can click the artboard and it shows me where center is, right? So I can drag out a guide. I can do the horizontal and the vertical. And I've changed the color of my guides. You can do that by going into Photoshop Preferences, Guides, Grids, and Slices. And you change the color here. So notice for artboards, I kind of made it like a little bit grayer version of the normal canvas guides. So then I just want to sort of drop some guides here so I can sort of see where things are supposed to go. Now I got a circle shape here. I'm just going to click, go to the elliptical. If I hold Alt, Option, and Shift at the same time as this tool, when you hold Option Alt, it drags out from the center of the circle. If I let go of Option Alt, it just drags it out from one side, whichever way you're dragging. And I also want to mention, I love blending modes in Photoshop. So here, if I go to multiply or some of these, because it's a black circle, it's kind of hard to see. Like I can see it sort of burning out my illustration there. But if I were to go back and change the color of that ellipse to maybe something like that blue again, and now I try to blend it, see how I can see through the shape? So blending modes can be really fantastic for sort of aligning things in your composition. And one of the things too I want to mention about web design particularly, it's so important to plan everything out ahead. I don't think a website is ever done, are they? I don't think actually a lot of designs. I think it's always an iterative process. Like you think it's finished, And I always tell my students that with a website, with web design, it's actually easier to start from scratch than it is to go back in and like really change stuff. I've had clients, have me build a website and then they say, oopsie, we have to add 3 more pages. Really? I had my header all planned out like this and now there's going to be less real estate up there. So then you have to rethink your strategy. And because I moved that picture, I had to adjust a few little things. So like I said, it's an iterative process. I could even take this, Option drag, Command T. Another way you can sort of see through your objects is you could always drop the opacity. And now I can see through the shape. If I hold Shift, it allows me to distort, and I like designing on the grid. I'm all about looking for those beautiful opportunities to align things. Like I want to do that. I want to line that up just because there's something really beautiful about symmetry and balance and those principles of design that are sort of the things we fall back on. So now I don't know if I need my sketch anymore right now. I think it's sort of hindering me. But you can see like within a few minutes, very few minutes, I sort of have the really rough start of my website. So I've got my header idea, and if I wanted a logo or something up here at the top, I could just really quickly scale this circle in. If I hold Shift, it will keep it, and I think that's it. Let me bring it up to the top. Yep, I can see it blending in there. Command T. And that's the other thing I want to mention is that if this was supposed to be my company logo, well, it sort of looks like a forgotten little baby up here, doesn't it? Like I'm not really showing it much love because it's so small. And that's what this is all about. This is about figuring out where do things need to go. Like my sketch was just done sitting here at my computer on my lap. So maybe I need to go back in and sort of readjust my thought plan. And once again, looking at opportunities for lining things up. It's also worth mentioning that if you want to use like a grid layout in your composition, go to New Guide Layout. You can see my last guide layout that I used was based on 12 because it's you can divide it down by 4s, by 3s. It's just a really nice number for sort of building a website. I'm not stuck to that. I could maybe do 6, and maybe that would work better. So whatever your design is, and obviously it's not going to be the same on your mobile as it is on desktop. And I'm just dying to see this box. I'm sorry. I just want to see that sort of lined up on the grid. And the other thing too is, if you think back to design principles, so if I have everything sort of lined up too much, that can be sort of boring and stale. Another thing worth mentioning is that you don't want your users or your clients, your customers, having to search for things. For example, I'm not going to put my navigation, I might think it's a really cool idea to put my navigation. I'm just going to make a different shape in a really bright color so you'll know what I'm talking about. If I said, you know, I think it would be really neat, I'm going to put my navigation over here, and I'm going to change the color, let me see, to that, and I'm going to bring it up to the top of the stack, right? People aren't going to look over here, or people aren't going to look down here for navigation. You might think you're being really clever, but people are creatures of habit. And if you refer back to some of the laws of UX design, you don't want people burning time on your website. Generally, as a rule of thumb, what I was taught, if it takes more than 3 clicks to find it, if it takes more than 3 seconds to load it, and if you're not using the rule of thirds, those things can be trouble. So if you always fall back on those, that can be helpful too. And if you find your guides are a bit too much, remember that you can just say clear guides and they're gone. No distraction. And speaking of distraction, that has to go. I'm going to put a pin in it here. Next video, I'll come back and I'll talk about setting up something similar using XD.